Hey, welcome. What if I told you that you could make any woman feel deeply attracted to you without even laying a finger on her? Yep, I'm talking about creating that irresistible pull without the typical touchy-feely approach. And no, this isn't some magical trick. It's a real psychological chemistry that every guy can master, so stick with me, because I'm about to break down the secrets to turning her on without even touching her. The power of non-physical attraction. So here's the thing. Most people assume that attraction and turning women on is all about touching. But the real attraction, the kind that sticks with someone and keep them to thinking about you, even when you're not around that, is built through the things you don't do physically, and it's all in the mind. You see, humans are wired to feel connected by things beyond physical contact. The mind responds to subtle cues the way you look at her, the words you choose, the energy you project, and when you get this right, she'll feel the magnetic pull towards you, and she won't even fully understand why. Think about those movie scenes where two characters are just looking at each other across the room. They're not touching, they're not even talking, but you can feel the tension. The spark. It's that electric connection, that intense energy that builds attraction without a single touch. When you can build that kind of mental and emotional connection, you've just tapped into something even more powerful, that touch and curiosity. This kind of attraction can last for longer than anything physical. She feels it even when she's alone scrolling through her day. So today we're focusing on how to create this kind of deep, almost hypnotic pull. We're going to dive into some practical ways to get her hooked on you. Without any touch involved by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to make her feel like she's got this special connection with you, and it will feel effortless. Think about it. Everyone else is using physical gestures, trying to rush into touch. But when you focus on mastering the non-physical side, you're already standing out. You're that guy who knows how to play in the deeper layers of attraction, the kind of guy who intrigues her long after the moment has passed. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with this video. Please stay tuned. How to make her feel seen. The power of attention. So here's where most guys slip up. Okay, they think impressing her means being loud, flashy, or overly complimentary. The quickest way to make a woman feel deeply connected to you is simply to make her feel seen. It's about showing her without words that you notice who she is beneath the surface. Think about it when someone genuinely sees you. Notices the little things, doesn't it make you feel special? That's what women crave to, they want to feel like they're more than just a pretty face or someone to pass your time with. And when you're that guy who goes beyond surface level, it sticks with her. It's something she won't be able to shake. So let's get practical. Here's what I want you to try. Next time she mentions something small like her favorite book, a funny story from a day, or a quickie habit she has, make sure you remember it. Let her see that you're paying attention to all these little things. And then later on, bring it up in a casual, effortless way and listen. Really listen when she talks. Not with the intent to respond, but with the intent to understand where she's coming from. Right? Stop thinking about what to say next. Instead, give her the kind of attention that makes her feel safe, like she's being heard and understood. It'll change everything when you're genuinely invested in her stories, her thoughts, and even the quirk she might feel self-conscious about something incredible happens. She starts to feel a level of validation and comfort that's rare. Suddenly, you're that guy who doesn't see her as one of the crowd, but as someone uniquely worth knowing. And here's what makes this so powerful: when she's with you, she'll feel like she's at home, safe, seen. And that feeling she won't want to give up easily, it becomes addictive, and she'll start craving your attention more and more. Challenge her. Subtle playing, hard to get. We're driving into the art of challenge, showing her that you're interested but not completely sold. Now, this involves being mysterious enough to keep her intrigued and wanting more. Here's the deal. Women are naturally drawn to a bit of mystery, to a man who has standards and doesn't just fall head over heels from the get-go. Think about it. What makes someone memorable isn't that they're always there, eager and available. It's because they're just a little bit out of reach. Here's a real-life example. Maybe you've been chatting with her for maybe a while, and she suggests meeting up last minute instead of dropping everything. Say something like, "Oh, I'd love to, but I already have plans tonight. Let's plan for another day." This lets her know that you're not going to jump just because she snaps her fingers. It shows her that you're the man with a full life and will make her see you as someone with value. Now, let's clear something up. Playing hard to get doesn't mean you're acting aloof or uninterested. It's about balancing your interest with your standards. Okay, show her that you enjoy her company, that you're genuinely interested in getting to know her, and also show her that you're not just going to give away your time and attention to anyone. Make her feel like earning your attention is something special, for example. If she asks you to do something you're not into, like a last minute request that doesn't fit your schedule, let her know that you'll have to pass this time. Tell her, hey, I'd love to, but I already have something planned. Trust me, it speaks volumes. You're showing her that you're not just a yes man and doing something like this works, because when you're a bit of challenge, you're creating a psychological phenomenon called reciprocal interest, right? She'll start feeling drawn to you, not because you're constantly showering her with attention, but because you're someone worth working for. You're suddenly telling her that she has to bring something to the table, to that you're not just won over by her looks or charm, and that makes her wants to be the best version of herself. When you can master the art of creating that subtle challenge, she'll be drawn to you in ways that you never expected. The art of suggestive language and tone. Now, here's something a lot of people don't realize, right? How you say something is just as powerful, if not more so, than what you say. There's an art to using your tone of voice and suggestive language to create attraction that goes way beyond the words itself. When you master this, you can send a shiver down spine with just a few well-chosen words. Let's talk about tone first, right? There's something irresistibly attraction about a who speaks with a calm, steady, slightly lower tone, especially when he's saying something meaningful. It signals confidence, calmness, control, and women pick up on these subtle cues and respond on a subconscious level by slowing down your speech, lowering your tone, deepening your voice, and giving your words room to breathe. You're creating a vibe that's quietly magnetic. Imagine this. You're talking to her, and instead of rushing through your sentences, you let a pause sit between your words. So maybe you're saying something like, I really enjoy spending time with you. Now that pause right before the really makes the words more intentional and more impactful. You're not just feeling space. You're letting each word sink in, letting her feel the weight of your words. Okay, now the beauty of a pause is that it creates anticipation. It makes her lean in, waiting for your next word, wondering what you're going to say. In that anticipation, it builds tension in the best way possible. You're letting her feel the depth of your interest without having to be overly direct about it. Using suggestive language to create intrigue. Don't get me wrong, because I'm not talking about being overly flirtatious or making her feel uncomfortable with the words and phrases that hint at something deeper. Write words that let her know that there's more to you than meets the eye. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, so instead of saying, hey, I think you're interesting, you could try something like, there's something really intriguing about you, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Now, that small change in wording adds a layer of mystery, of depth. It makes her wonder, what does he see in me? What is it that intrigues him? Now she's invested, she'll want to uncover what you find so captivating. It's a subtle difference, but it changes the entire vibe of the conversation. You're creating a moment of intrigue, a sense of curiosity that will keep her mind lingering on your words, okay? You can ask questions that bring out her personal stories, her thoughts, her dreams, right? You can say something like, I get that feeling. You have a story or two that will surprise me? Care to share one? Okay, no by. Framing the conversation like this, you're inviting her to open up, to share something more meaningful. She'll start to feel like there's some kind of connection, an almost intimate conversation happening between the two of you. And that feeling of emotional depth, well, it's magnetic. It makes her want to keep talking, to keep exploring that connection with you if she's interested. The secret ingredient, slow and steady, wins the game. Now, one last thing before I wrap up this particular point. Don't rush it. When you're using a suggestive tone, less is more. You need to overload the conversation with hints or mystery instead. Keep it subtle, let your words linger. Let your tone be smooth and steady. When she sees that you're calm, that you're not trying too hard to impress, you'll create a sense of intrigue. And that's almost impossible to ignore. For instance, if she asks about your weekend, you could say, hey, I had an interesting weekend. I'll tell you about it sometime, okay? Now, by leaving it open-ended, you're giving her something to wonder about. She's curious, she intrigued, and maybe even a little excited to hear the full story. Okay? You're not just giving her everything up front. You're building that sense of anticipation and mystery. The eyes have it. Powerful eye contact. All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in attraction, eye contact. When done right, it can create a connection so strong that she feels it in her bones. Trust me, the way you look at her, how deeply confidently will say 1,000 things without a single word. Eye contact is powerful because it's vulnerable. Most people aren't used to someone looking directly at them with undivided attention. And when you master this, you stand out immediately because you're giving her something rare, right? A true sense of connection. Now, here's the key. It isn't about staring her down, okay? It's about holding her gaze just a moment longer than usual, letting her feel the weight of your attention when you're in a conversation. Focus on keeping eye contact when she's speaking. Let her see that you're not just listening to her words, but that you're fully present, turned in. Let's say she's telling you a story as she speaks. Make sure you keep your eyes gently fixed on her. Not occasionally, maybe even smile, but resist the urge to look away. Let her feel like she's the only person in the room, like nothing else matters in the moment. This is about showing genuine presence and not necessarily intensity, right? It's subtle, it's calm, and incredibly attractive. One more thing about eye contact is you want to soften your gaze. Harsh, unblinking stares will come across as intimidating or intense, but a soft gaze, it feels warm, inviting, safe. Right? Is that kind of look that lets her feel at ease around you as if she can open up without being judged, right? To practice this, you want to try looking at her with a slight smile and a relaxed expression. Let your face be open and welcoming. It isn't about sizing her up, it's about making her feel like she's being seen and appreciated. The warmth in your eyes should communicate that you're genuinely interested in who she is, not just what she looks like, okay? Now, let's talk about the game changer. Building tension, because this is equally important in this conversation. When you hold her gaze just a second longer than normal, especially during a quiet moment, you create a spark that's hard to ignore. There's something magnetic about a look that lingers that suggests that there's more to be said, more to be felt, is a silent message that says, I see you. I'm interested. And here's a little pro tip. Let her break the gaze first. This might sound simple, but it's incredibly powerful when she looks away. It's a subtle sign that she's feeling the impact of your gaze and she's slightly overwhelmed in a good way. And when she glances back to check if you're still looking, that's your cue, right? That you've got her attention. So try this the next time you're with her. When she glances away, keep your soft gaze steady. And when she looks back, give a slight smile as if to say, I'm still here, right? You're showing her that you're not just a passerby in her world. You're someone who's genuinely interested, someone who's confident enough to hold his ground. Trust me, you won't get this advice anywhere, so just tap the like button. Okay, so remember, your eyes can tell her everything she needs to know, whether it's the warmth of a smile, the subtle tension in her lingering gaze, or the steady presence you give her when speaking. Eye contact is your secret weapon. Use it to create intrigue and to build connections she won't forget. Guys, these aren't just tricks. They're powerful tools that will draw her in without a single touch. And here's the best part: when you master them, she'll start leaning closer to you, she'll crave your attention, your validation, and everything else. Now, you become that mysterious guy that she can't quite figure out, but can't stop thinking about. So go on, try them out. See if they make a difference, and remember, real attraction doesn't always start with touch, it starts in the mind. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Catch you on the next video.